Lose weight with macros family. Welcome to a brand new episode. Today we are talking about what type of dieter are you? Now I've done diets, I've stopped diets, I've started diets, I've done them again, and I've had the yo-yo dieting experience, which is why I am a behavior change nutrition coach helping women who have 5 pounds of fat to lose or more, or they just want to build a healthy foundation and relationship with food themselves and be confident more than they ever have before. Then I am your coach. And today's episode is going to be a good one. So if you are ready for today's episode, do 2 things. Go ahead and share this podcast with a friend who needs to hear this. If you know a friend or two that is a yo-yo dieter like me and you were, then share this with her. And also don't forget to leave your review in iTunes. But for now, friends, grab your tea, your water, your coffee, your matcha, your notepad and pen, and let's get into it. If you are new to the Lose Weight with Podcast family, welcome to the family. If you haven't already, go and download your 5 minutes guide to macros. This gives you an overview of macronutrients and whether or not it's going to work for you, because tracking macros does not work for everybody. Though I am a macros coach, there are other opportunities and other methods that we can use to help you lose weight if that is your goal and you make me your one-to-one nutrition coach. You can go and grab your guide via nutritioncoaching.co.uk/macros guide. So, what type of dieter are you? Are you the type of dieter that you are a veteran? And when I say veteran, I mean you've been dieting since childhood. Now, in today's world, and because my background is working with children and young people, that would be identified as child abuse. Child prosecution services, social services, we call it over here, will definitely be alerted, because no child should be made to feel like they're fat or need to restrict themselves from food in order to lose weight. It is down to the parents to be able to teach them effectively how to navigate food, not the child to decide, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. Now, if we fast forward a number of years, how would you feel if your 5-year-old son or daughter turned to you and said, Mummy, I'm fat, can I go on a diet? Of course you'd be mortified, but children learn from those who teach them. And oftentimes that's either children or that's ourselves, because they are in our care most of the time and they copy. See Mummy do, see Daddy do, I do. And that is a key thing to keep into consideration and mind, not to call out anybody who does this or to cast judgment, but it's important to make you aware of the things that you are saying about your body and the things that your children might be hearing that you think that they're not hearing. Just because you don't say it verbally, it doesn't mean that you're not saying it physically and they're still being able to pick it up. Children are incredibly smart and clever, and they pick up things that we don't even think they pick up. So that's a little prelude about types of dieters and what kind of people we are, and the reality of the people that we affect when we go on diets, and how it doesn't just affect us, it doesn't just affect our bodies, it affects people around us. And oftentimes those are people that we love and people that have to pick us up emotionally when we're not getting the results that we think we should be getting in a diet. Now, if you're new here, I like to give definitions and meanings of words, not because you don't know the definition of the word and not because I don't know the definition of word, but to bring context in terms of what I'm preaching, what I'm teaching, although today is not a preaching episode, but what I'm teaching you when it comes to nutrition coaching. The word diet, literally a noun, is a noun and is a verb. So the verb, there are 2 definitions. So the noun, there are 2 definitions. Food and drink considered in terms of its qualities, composition, and its effects on health. When I use the word diet, that's what I'm talking about. Food and drink that's considered in terms of its qualities, composition, and its effect on health. That definition. And there's another definition: a person, a particular selection of food, especially as designed or prescribed to improve a person's physical condition or to prevent or treat a disease. Now, that might be other, that dietitians might actually give you a diet that is specifically prescribed to you. Now, one of my favorite definitions of the word diet is this: restricting yourself from food in order to lose weight or for medical reasons. Now, many of us don't often lose weight for medical reasons, though there are some who are losing weight for medical reasons, and you would have been prescribed a medical care team and given a plan to follow. However, the majority of the population are trying to diet to lose weight. But a key word here is restriction. So what you're actually doing, and what I actually did, is restrict myself from food specifically to lose weight, because that's what we've been told by the diet culture, that we have to restrict ourselves, we have to cut out all of our foods that we like and that we enjoy, and then we just need to be made to eat food that tastes like cardboard and plain boring salads. If we're looking up the words diet in the thesaurus, listen to the words that are here: restriction and starvation. So you see why I actually like to have the definitions of the words and the meaning. It doesn't mean that you don't know what the word means. Obviously, we all have an understanding of what the word means. However, there are synonyms that make this context of what I'm talking about in the podcast a little bit more hard hitting. So let's look at the verb for diet in terms of the thesaurus. Abstaining from food, which is another synonym or verb for the word diet. Starve, count calories, eat sparingly, fall off, go without, skinny down, slim down, watch weight. Do those things sound positive to you? Nope. Another antonym is gorge, additional to indulge. And let's look at another noun for the daily intake of food, which is the second definition, the way you eat on a day-to-day basis, the foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis. Edibles, nourishment, nutriment, nutrition, provisions, goodies, substance, subsistence, daily bread, grubbery. Those are all fantastic words. Antonyms for the word diet, another word added to indulgence, starvation again, and deprivation. So you see, when I'm doing these podcasts, I like to elaborate on the normal language that we have. So when you're saying to me, if you're coming to me and you're saying, Verona, I'm on a diet, these are some of the things that I hear when you say that. Count calories, eat sparingly, starve, fall off, go without my favorite foods in order to lose weight. But the reality is you don't need to do any of that. And as a coach, that's what I'm teaching you to do. When you work with me on a one-to-one or you sign up to Focus on the Fat Loss as the group coaching program, this is exactly what we're going to. And the group coaching program is a collective 20 groups of women. 20 groups. 20 is a group of 20 women collectively all working together for women who have fallen off their diet, they've gone without a number of foods, they've counted calories that happen to be too low for their body's needs, they've starved themselves from their foods that they love and enjoy because somebody has told them to, and then they've just seen what it's done for other people and they want to also do the same. So let's have a look at the different types of dieters that there actually are. The no cheating dieter. Oh, we love the no cheating dieter. If you're the no cheating dieter, you are always on the lookout for the allocated cheat day that you have. You look forward to this cheat day with anticipation because you value cheat days as much as you value your life. However, let us dissect what cheat day actually is. Cheat day, if you're somebody who is trying to cheat yourself, you're a liar, you're a swindler, you're trying to con people out of. These are definitions of the word cheat. Now, I'm sure you're not a liar. You wouldn't identify yourself as a liar, would you? No, I didn't think so, and neither would I. So when you're subscribing to these things and you're looking desperately to Fridays, oh my gosh, I can't wait for my cheat meal. I can't wait for Friday to cheat on my diet. The only person that you're cheating is yourself out of the results that you are trying to get year in, year out, week in, week out, month after month. But you find yourself coming back to being the no cheating dieter because you're good all week, quote unquote good, whatever that means when it comes to dieting. And then when it comes to Friday, you are elated that it's Friday. You get to have not just one slice, not just 2 slices, but maybe 4 slices of pizza, and you get to have some fizzy drink with it too. Oh my goodness. If this is what I can look forward to every Friday, I am going to be good all week. I'm going to eat super low calories. I'm going to exercise 2 hours a day, and I am going to be so amazing. However, what happens with the no cheater dieter? They actually get disillusioned, and then Saturday becomes a whole cheat day, and so does Sunday. And then by the end of Sunday, it becomes a regret Sunday where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have done this. I'm going to start my no cheating diet again on Monday. And you see how the pattern goes over and over and over again. The worst thing about yo-yo dieting is you don't really learn why it happens. You just start a diet, then you lose some weight and you celebrate and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel better. I can feel my clothes fitting better already. I've got more energy. I've never had this amount of sleep before. And then you celebrate with food. And then what ends up happening is you go back to your old habits. Then you regain the weight that you'd already lost and it adds some tax. Friends, if you've been in this position, there's no shade. I've been in this position. My clients have been in this position. And I want to help you come away from this cycle of yo-yo dieting. In a recent survey, 95% of dieters said they were frustrated and or discouraged by their yo-yo dieting habits. Now, if you know what to do but don't know how to do it, you're in good company. Breaking the yo-yo cycle is very possible. There are many reasons why diets fail, but the solution is simple. Reserve your spot for the Ditch the Yo-Yo Diet workshop today and start losing weight for real. Head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/diets to reserve your spot. But for now, friends, let's continue with today's episode. Now, let's see where we got this hashtag cheat day nonsense from. We got it from the gym bros. The gym bros are putting out there that hashtag cheat day is the way to go. If you want to lose weight, you've got to have one cheat meal a week. Why? Have it every single day. Stop limiting yourself to one particular day of the week. And then what happens is you're so out of control with your whole restriction of yourself from food, you end up wilding out for the whole weekend. And then Sunday evening, you're filling yourself with regret, calling yourself fat, all these names over and over again. If you're doing this type of behavior and you're desperately trying to get something else, let's have a look at that behavior. It's just repeating the cycle over and over again. And I'm sure I don't need to go back into it anymore. However, if this is you, my friend, I'm telling you, there is hope for you. So the next type of dieter, it's funny type of dieters that we have here, but welcome to the show. I've been this type of dieter, and I'm sure you've been this type of dieter. You might even be in this place right now. The I'm just going to be hungry dieter. You've convinced yourself that it's about eating enough nutrients and calories. You know this, and it's fantastic that you know this, and you want to get the same enough nutrients and calories in the right portions to help your body feel satisfied. You absolutely know that. However, you're armed with that knowledge, but you make the decision that you're going to go hungry with your meals because you believe that it's worth it. You believe it's worth it to go hungry because it's going to help you lose fat faster. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Let me break down that for you. So what that means in a literal sense is you can understand it in literal senses, but I said a lot there, so it might be a little bit confusing. So let me simplify it. So I had a question once, and the question was asking, if I finish my calories by 5 p.m., do I just wait and then for the next day, and then so I'm counting my calories, and by 5 p.m. my calories are finishing every day. What shall I do? Now, this particular person, no matter how I responded to the question, they were in the mindset that they were prepared to go hungry because they believed if I eat less food, which is what scientific science says, eat less, move more. However, that science has now been disproved that you can actually eat more, move more, and eat the same way, eat more food and still lose weight. That is a mind game for some people to understand. It's like, how can I actually do that? Focus on the Fat Loss. We teach you all the things that you need to know. But when it's 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and you finish your calories, why do you think you can't eat more? Because we're conditioned to believe if we eat carbs after 6 p.m., we're gonna gain fat. Lies they tell. Okay, lies. And the thing is, I talked about in the recent episode, I talked about when people tell us lies, the more that we continue, that if a lie about nutrition is out there, which carbs, there is a blatant one. However, that lie, the more that we tell ourselves that lie, the more that it begins to look like it's actually true, but actually it isn't. The next type of cheater on the next type of dieter is one of my favorite ones. If it fits your macros dieter. Now, of course, this is a macros show, so I have to talk about the if it fits your macros dieter. Now, this dieter is all about finding new ways to enjoy things that fit into their macro requirements. Absolutely. They do it without sacrificing flavor or satisfaction. You love experimenting with new recipes as long as you can still eat what they want when they want it. Absolutely agree. You can do all of those things. The issue that I take up with the if it fits your macros as opposed to just tracking your macros is it gets you into the mentality of you can only have that if there's a condition to it. However, nutrition doesn't need to have conditions because when you're falling into the territory of conditional eating, you're falling into the territory of restrictive eating, and therefore you end up binging. Now, there's a common question in the macro space that says, so if I can eat burger and fries all day, every day, will I lose weight? But what happens if you have it and then you go over your macros? Oops, I had a burger and fries and a drink and I had it large at that. Or actually, no, I had it supersized because I was a little bit more hungry from the gym and it's gone way over my macros. What happens to me then? And so this dieter starts to condition themselves into certain types of food patterns and certain types of food eating. Now, because this episode is not like the normal length episode, we're going to wrap that one up there. If this is something that I talk about so much on Focus on the Fat Loss and other one-to-one coaching in the private podcast that you actually get. And lastly, the last type of dieter that we can get is the I want it all dieter. This dieter doesn't just want to burn fat. This is a positive type of dieter though. They don't want to just lose weight. They want to burn fat. And that's the difference. They know there's a difference between weight loss and they know there's a difference between fat loss. They also want to build muscle mass. They're not afraid if they want to bulk. And they know that they can do this by keeping track of their macros. Now, there's a difference between if it fits your macros and then keeping track of your macros. I'm the type of macro coach that talks about and teaches you how to keep track of your macros. And if you go over your macros, don't deduct them from the next set of day macros. I teach you how to do all of that. That's only 4 types of dieters dieters that I've discussed today's episode, there are plenty more. Now tune in the next few weeks as we continue to talk about the different types of macro dieters you are, not just to expose the type of dieter you are, but it's also to help you overcome this type of restrictive eating. We've talked about the definition, what it is, and we've talked about the different types of macro coaching styles that can happen. If you're using the word if, that then comes into or falls into the conditional way of eating. Now, which do you prefer? Being conditioned to a certain type of eating, you can only have this if it fits in your macros. But what happens if it goes over? Because sometimes food is going to go over your macros. You're still living, you haven't gained fat in 24 hours, you're still alive. If you want to skip all of that and let me do the hard work for you, then custom macros and the one-to-one coaching will be the routes to go to. However, behavior change coaching isn't fit for everybody because of the change that we are going through. Go to the website and have a look about what the program entails and to see whether or not you are right fit for this program. And that, my friends, is all we've got time for on today's episode. Share this episode with a friend. Don't forget to complete the survey that is in the link in the show notes to let me know how this show helped you today. And if it did help you, share with a friend or two. And on that note, friends, I will see you in the next one. Hey friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram at VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women who are fed up with dieting, don't know how to lose weight, they're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.